All right, my lovely, lovely, lovely fans. I don't mean fans. My lovely little people watching. This is another episode of Alumni on Air, and y'all are fans because guess what? Y'all are in the chats. Y'all are responding to us. Y'all are reaching out, and so we are fans of you. We're fanning over you, and you're fanning over us. We're just gonna love on each other. But I am Dr. Jamisha Hayes. I'm the Managing Director of Programs for Teach for America Memphis. And we are on another episode of Alumni on Air where we have amazing alums like this individual coming into the Teach for America Memphis office in our Alumni Impact Room, sharing stories of how they joined the Corps, what they did, when they were in the Corps, how was the experience, and then what happened afterwards. I would be remiss if I did not take a moment to say thank you to the man behind the camera who does all the things to get us all set up, and that is James Larkin. He's our Director of Communications, Director of Alumni. He does all the things. Thank you, James. I could not do this without you. And without further ado, let's talk to this amazing individual here. All right. So who are you? Tell us your name.
Okay. So I am Ken Guy, and I am a 2018 alum.
Oh my goodness, Ken. So tell me more about your name. Is there any story behind your name?
No, really. More so I was named after my dad, so I'm a second, but I just go by Ken, and yeah.
So, I love it.
Actually, I got a fun fact. So my whole name is 9 letters. So Ken Lee Guy.
Oh my goodness! You know what's crazy? My middle name is Lee Shun, and my dad's middle name is Lee. So we're connected.
You never know.
So before we started, I was like, Ken, where are you from? I was like, oh, I found out on the podcast. So now, Ken, where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
So born and raised here in Memphis, lifelong Memphian, and I love this place.
Oh my goodness! Why did I not know that?
Hey, there's a lot going on during the core year. So,
yes.
Hey, it happens.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so where'd you go to high school?
Yeah. Good old Cordova.
Oh, nice.
Cordova.
Yeah, I went to Central.
Okay.
But I do like Cordova.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So where'd you go to college?
Christian Brothers University.
Go
Bucks.
You know what? CBU is a good campus. I shout out CBU. Go Bucks, seriously. I love it. Amazing faculty, amazing people. So tell me about the whole, how did you find about TFA when you were at CBU? What happened?
So honestly, it's a funny story. So my first instance with learning about Teach for America was through a gap year program that I was helping host through our career services department. So we had a number of gap year programs and people from those offices or those organizations that really just came to tell what their organization is, why it's a great thing to do after college, aside from going directly into the workforce, and one of the organizations was Teach for America, and that's my first little instance, and I really enjoyed learning about it. And then it honestly just snowballed from there because it was my senior year. I was taking my upper level management courses, and we were learning about prolific leaders, and who popped up? The founder, Wendy Kopp, and then it just snowballed again from there. We learned about her in 2 or 3 classes, and then I actually got a reach out from a TFA Memphis staff member. They found me through LinkedIn and said, hey, we think you'd be a great applicant. And I applied, and that was it, really.
And we got so lucky to have you. So tell me about your experience. So you applied, you got in. Did you want Memphis, or did you say you want to go somewhere else?
At the time, I wanted to go somewhere else, but I'm really grateful and glad that I was placed here in Memphis because I didn't have to uproot my whole life,
Exactly. I definitely wanted to go somewhere else when I did the Corps, and then when I applied, and then when I got that it was Memphis, it actually ended up being the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I think had I went somewhere else, I wouldn't have been in education this long, I don't think.
Yeah, I probably would have been a whole different person.
Different person, I think so too. Well, so we got into the Memphis Corps, and then you found out. So tell me about your what we call Summer Training Institute experience.
So my institute experience was really eye-opening because I really had no clue what that really entailed other than what was shared about what institute generally was, but it really got my feet wet with the classroom, of course, the history of education in Memphis, and really leaning into being a present teacher, So with Institute, I was placed in a cohort of middle school and high school math, and I was slated to teach middle school math. And during Institute, I actually taught 7th grade math. Yeah.
And so you did summer math, and then so with your institute experience, were there any funny stories, anything that stood out?
Oh man, really the memories that we would make outside of institute. So one, of course, when we come back at the end of the day, really just like getting things ready for the next day and
Yeah.
like hustle.
Yes,
And
yes.
then of course on the weekends, that like kind of like culture building too was really great. I think more so a special story about mine is that out of my cohort, I was the only person from Memphis, so it was really special getting to like share why I love this place and all the great things to do and really invest in Memphis. You know?
Love it. Stand up for us. Hold us down. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you did your core experience, and then you got placed.
Yes.
What were you placed in? What was the school's experience like?
Yes. So I'm actually in a unique space because I was initially slated to teach middle school algebra and math. Well, I didn't do well on that practice, so it was suggested or encouraged that, hey, why don't you try a different age group or content area? So I leaned into elementary education, passed it on the last day of institute, and look at that. But my placement school was Memphis STEM Academy, and I was their kindergarten math teacher.
Oh my goodness. So you went from the 7th graders, which I love 7th grade. People think I'm crazy, but I love them. But then you went to the smallest babies. Okay, so tell me what that was like.
Honestly, it was in my eyes perfect because I wanted elementary just because you could really see the difference that you were making. And kindergarten, it's fun. It's a whole new world compared to every other grade and honestly age group. And it's just organized chaos, but like the best kind, you know. I felt like I was a kindergarten teaching kindergartners, but honestly it worked out great. I really meshed well with all of my students and their parents, and they could really tell that it wasn't just a job for me, but that I truly cared for their child, and I wanted to make sure that I was doing my part and that we were working as a team to make sure that they were set up really for the rest of their life, because really kindergarten, it's the foundation of everything, you know?
I think that definitely is the foundation of everything. I think sometimes people don't realize the value of that kindergarten pre-K experience and making sure that if you can get kids on track or even ahead of track in that stage, you set them up for the rest of their life. So you did that. Did you stay in your place for 2 years?
So I did. So I was actually at my school for right around 5 years.
Oh my goodness.
And I was the longest standing male teacher too.
Oh my goodness. So tell me about that experience. So what was the experience being like a male teacher? And what was that experience for you?
It was interesting because I really leaned on my experience growing up as a student, really, of what I wanted to be as a teacher. When I was really lucky because I had around 5 to 7 male teachers that looked like me. So that representation of just having someone that looks like you, that really gives you that idea like, hey, that is possible. In the scope of my school, it looked like really making learning fun, and that my students enjoyed not just coming to school, but really enjoyed my class. And it looked like a blend of the discipline, but also the fun, and more so as a lot of students seeing me as the teacher where like if they couldn't get it together in their teacher's class, they'd come over to my class and no issue, they'd get all of their work done and listen. You know, it's just that kind of presence that I bring to the table that they really meshed with.
I love that. So, was there any major differences on your first year and your second year?
Oh my gosh, everything. I am very transparent. So at one point, it was just a struggle going from 7th grade to kindergarten, and then also knowing everything that entails in kindergarten and just being a teacher too. So at one point, my coach and principal, they through just getting through that first semester, I was actually put on a performance improvement plan, and I have no trouble talking about that because it's hard. You know, you're trying so hard to do well and really get everything together, not just for your students but for you. And there's always something to do as a teacher, and really just locked in and really improved and just seeing the difference in my first semester to my second semester, and then of course the first year compared to the second year, I was just a lot more on top of things, giving myself grace, but also being really cognizant of that. This is a struggle, you know. You're in the classroom and like you just graduated college. You're doing your best, and there's nothing really wrong with that because everyone starts somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And then you obviously came out of it because you
Mm-hmm.
were able to stay there 4 more years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how did you turn that around?
I think really what happened is that I just had better expectations of what was expected of me, but also that if I can make it in my first year, I can do anything.
This is true.
Especially kindergarten.
Oh my goodness. I at Institute I was slated to teach. I don't know actually what grade I was supposed to. Oh, I know it was. I had 6th through 12th English, and then I had middle school all subjects I could do.
Mm-hmm.
But at Institute I taught 3rd graders.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I said, no. The little babies are too cute
Mm-hmm.
for me to engage in the way that I need to. I need the older kids because I didn't realize how hard it is to break information down. You think,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I got the little babies, it'll be easy. No, like you have to explain, like, this is a pencil, or like just the basic things you take for granted, and for them to conceptualize it, that's hard work. People don't understand. It's really difficult to break some of those things down so that they can understand it and then take that learning further on their own.
Yeah.
So I shout out all the teachers that set my kids up before me because I didn't have to say what a pencil was. Okay, that was easy. But for you, you have to do everything.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, including nap time. Did y'all have nap time?
Actually, no, which is crazy.
Y'all didn't have nap time?
Nope. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember kindergarten. I love nap time.
Oh, I wish we had nap time so I could take a nap too. But hey, just gotta power through.
You know what? Maybe they probably did get rid of that. But I love nap time. My little cookie when I woke up. Okay, so you did 2 years, and so now you did alumni. So for alumnihood, you decided to teach a 3rd year, and actually 2 more years after that. Why did you decide that you could have went on and did anything else?
Yeah, really, I just felt that it was just the thing to do, honestly. And at that point, the pandemic was just starting, and you didn't really know. No one really knew what was going to happen, so it didn't really make sense to put myself in a situation to look for something else, given like I had stability, like no one across the world knows what's going on, so I'm just gonna focus on what I can, and this is what I'm focusing on, you know. And it really gave, I think, me a bit of normalcy too, you know, and I haven't put myself in that unprecedented time where really that instability of like looking for a job, but also knowing what that process is going to look like, and knowing it's going to take time for something else to come, like that our perfect opportunity to come along, and not really worry about that too much. So I just felt that this is what I'm going to focus on, and that's all right.
So you did that for 3 years teaching, and then you made a decision to leave the classroom after 5 years. What was that about?
So I knew teaching wasn't going to be my forever career, but I knew it was something really important that I wanted to do, right? And that I had the privilege of doing. But I knew that in terms of my career, that I wanted to transition into a career in higher ed because I had a great experience in college, and really it was a very transformative time for me. And so I wanted to lean into that and know that I was still supporting students, but it just looks different, like a different kind of student. I can say that college kids are just taller kindergartners, honestly.
They are. And sometimes they act worse than the kindergartners. Okay? All right, we're going to talk about this though, okay? I was perfect though. No problem in college. Okay, so what do you do now? So what are you doing now?
So when I left the classroom, I transitioned into a career at my alma mater, CBU. And so I am the Assistant Director of Residence Life and Student Engagement. So I'm like the fun guy on campus.
But you were fun on the court, Ken.
Oh yeah, trust me. My kids, you could tell, like the funny thing is that my students, my colleagues at my school, they could tell like which kids were in Mr. Guy's class because they had just a certain like way that they carried themselves. So they're like, "You're Mr. Guy's class." Like, yep.
Yep, exactly. So, do you think what you're doing is aligned to your vision of one day? You know, we said one day all kids will have access to excellent education. Do you think what you're doing is living into that vision?
I think so, because one thing that I'm doing to help contribute to one day is that I'm very transparent about my time in Teach for America, and I feel that teaching is something that everybody should try at least once, you know, just to really broaden your worldview, you know, and just the way you see humanity, but also the importance of education and how the systems currently in place are resulting in what we see now. You know.
I love that. And so that was a little piece of advice. So we're going to go to our other part of our show. We talk about paying it forward.
Yeah.
So what would be your advice to anybody that is trying to come into the core, trying to come into teaching? What is your advice to them?
Yeah, I would say be flexible because there's not going to be a day where like it's going to go exactly how you think with that stress with anything. You know, be flexible, and I'd say be open to learning. You know, and like listening to people that are in spaces where or positions where you want to be one day.
I love that. You have to lean in, you have to be flexible, and you have to make sure you're listening. What about for our fellow alums? So people out there like me or like you, or who might not even be watching this, but maybe they get a chance to see it. What would be your advice to them as alumni?
Ooh, good question. I would say really lean into building the kind of community that either you had in the core or that you want to have as an alum. So that may mean, hey, if you end up moving somewhere, see if there's a TFA branch there and connect with those alum to help give you that kind of like, you know, foundation to like network and really build a life.
I love that. I think that's so important that people remember that it's all about community.
Yeah.
And there is a TFA alum and or TFA region somewhere near you. So why not take some time to reach out to those alums, reach out to that region and see what you can do to support to further the mission and further the success of children and families in that community that you're in. I love that.
Sure.
Well, y'all, this is the time has flown by. This was such a good episode. I really loved it. So many rich little nuggets. So I hope you really tuned in. And I really think we should take on the charge that Ken just gave us about community. So use that chat function at the bottom to share a little bit about community. We are here in Memphis. We're across town. If you ever need to come around here, you want to sit here and come and chill, you want to come work, you want to also just be with us, let us know. We'll make sure we make it happen. But I am just loving seeing our alums like Ken thrive, and I would love to see a lot of you at our 35th anniversary summit. It's coming up next fall in October. Be checking out all the information on Instagram and social medias about the 35th anniversary summit, because it's going to be a time for us to show community, to come together, to celebrate all the time and all the hard work we've been doing in Tennessee, but also across the country as an organization. All right, I will see y'all later. Have a good one.